Does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn.
So this is gonna blow your mind, but MAGA didn't exactly like that Trump quote right there. They already were really touchy about the whole H-1B visa thing. There was the whole Laura Loomer thing and Elon Musk. But like even getting past the substance of it, the policy of it, if you're gonna try to make the case that there might be limited instances in which we need people from other countries to come in to do specific jobs, the way that you express that is not when Laura Ingraham says, we have talented people, you say, no, you don't. No, not the American people, they're not talented. You're a politician and that's how you talk about your own constituents? Imagine if Joe Biden had said that. Nah, there's no talent. They're all a bunch of duds, nothing's mediocre. I mean, that's insane. But let's see, the clip continues. Let's see if he can recover in the next bit.
You can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm gonna put you into a factory where we're gonna make missiles, or I'm gonna put
How did we ever do it before?
Well, I'll give you an example. In Georgia, they raided because they wanted illegal immigrants out. They had people from South Korea that made batteries all their lives. You know, making batteries are very complicated. It's not an easy thing and very dangerous. A lot of explosions, a lot of problems. They had like 500 or 600 people, early stages, to make batteries and to teach people how to do it. Well, they wanted them to get out of the country. You're going to need that, Laura. I mean, I know you and I disagree on this. You can't just say a country's coming in, going to invest $10 billion to build a plant, and going to take people off an unemployment line who haven't worked in 5 years, and they're going to start making missiles. It doesn't work that way.
Nothing works that way. What are you talking about? So following up from earlier this week when he was like, nobody knows how magnets work. Now it's batteries are dangerous, man. Have you ever gone into a battery factory? You need a hard hat and steel toe shoes because it's just explosions everywhere. By the way, the Hyundai factory was being set up. It wasn't already there. They weren't building. He's absolutely insane. But there he says, so we had America's not talented, so we need these foreign workers, which I agree that there can be instances in which we have specific skill sets we might need to bring people in. But you don't just say we're not talented. But then on top of that, it's like you don't just take people off unemployment who haven't worked in 5 years. Why can he not go a couple minutes without insulting the workers who are a core part of his constituency, Yaz? What do you think?
There's so much going on here. Okay, like the question is, why don't we have those talents or those talented people, Donald? Is it because, I don't know, maybe we keep defunding education in this country? Is it because our universities have become prohibitively expensive, astronomically expensive, to the point that people are like, I'll just try my luck without it because I can't afford to just have all of this debt so early on in my life? Or like, are we unable to develop skills and talents because no one can afford to live? So instead of spending time practicing our hobbies and learning new skills, we are working multiple jobs just trying to make ends meet, especially now that Trump has cut SNAP benefits, especially now that most Americans don't have health insurance through their jobs. And even if they do, they might still have to pay thousands of dollars in case they ever get sick. You know, like that could be part of the reason as to why we don't have talent in this country, Donald. So this administration, though, sounds wildly incompetent, thanks largely to the words that come straight out of Trump's own mouth. You know, the Republican Party, this administration, Trump, they contradict themselves all the time. They reverse their own policies all the time. And in that clip, he kept saying like, oh, it doesn't work that way. We know, like we've been telling you that these things are not gonna work, these policies are not gonna work. And he did it anyway. And now he's like, well, we don't have any talent, right? He kept saying America first, we're gonna stop the H-1B visas, we're gonna stop these international students from coming into our universities, we're gonna stop immigration, we're gonna do all these things, America first, America first. And now he's like, we don't have the talent here, so we gotta bring it in from elsewhere, which is something that was said years ago whenever he first started talking about these tariffs and his immigration crackdowns. And, now it's like they're learning the hard way. And it's like, this is why I always say, like, nobody listens to me, right? Because, and I'm going to extend that to the rest of the network, because we've been saying it. We said this was going to be a problem. And now they're like, yeah, I don't know. I guess it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, as I said, and we'll close on this, MAGA's not happy about this, obviously. People like Logan Hall, the Blaze, saying, I'm sorry, but what the F is this? American talent split the atom and went to the moon. American talent built everything the modern world takes for granted now. Well, like, dial it back a notch. We invented a lot of stuff, partially because we brought people in, immigrants from all over the world, but we didn't invent literally everything. So you can go too far with that. But yeah, lots of Cernovich saying that they broke people's heart. But again, this is who he is. Donald Trump's first cabinet meeting ended with him declaring that America has gotten bloated, fat, and disgusting. Which it's not only, that's mean to say, but it's also not accurate, dude. Like, you're self-loathing. You can't just apply it to all of us, dude. So anyway, I don't think that this is gonna work well for him. He's such a bad messenger as his brain degrades.